All right, guys, welcome back to the Can't Hold Water podcast. And to start things off, I just want to say that I apologize for Saturday's episode. We were supposed to have Jordan Holly on, who is a jiu-jitsu black belt. But it's the eve of a big jiu-jitsu tournament that he has in New York, and it's totally understandable. He has a lot on his plate to think about, and I would hate to be a distraction, but I hope he knows that the Can't Hold Water listeners and are on his side, and we wish him nothing but luck. And we will have that interview coming soon, but man, today's a special day. I got my boy, PBR, Pretty Boy Ray. What's going on, baby?
What's up?
Hey, the world is about to be entertained today, man.
Wake up, everybody. Pretty Boy Ray, he okay. He's in the house.
There he is. Hey, you had a daughter that did jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah, she still is an MMA fighter.
Still is. Hey, she's a pretty bad man with gentleman, man.
Oh yeah, she's pretty tough. She's always been tough. Trust me.
Yeah.
Like super tough. She's never. I mean, man, she team rope with me. She was skateboarding. She was the 5-time national world champion speed skater, and then she went to MMA.
Oh dang! So she did it all.
She was tough. At 5 years old, she cried for a damn unicycle.
And unicycle? That's one wheel, right?
Well, yeah, one wheel, one seat. I was like, "Girl, you gonna kill yourself?" And she, "No, Daddy, I can do it." I said, I got tired of it, so Eddie, I ended up ordering her a damn unicycle. I had a UPS guy friend of mine drop it off at 9 o'clock that morning on the way to his route. By the time I got home at 5:30 that day, she was riding that damn unicycle like it was nothing.
No shit.
Yeah, and to this day, she still has it. She still rides it.
Oh, so she was just a natural athlete, huh?
Oh, natural all the way around.
Hey, how did you feel? Everything, huh?
Everything.
Hey, but how would you feel like seeing your own kid fight? Like, would you get nervous?
It didn't bother me because I knew she was tough. I knew she'd lose. I knew she'd lose some of the fights because she fought girls that were out of her weight class.
Yeah.
But I told her, just take the fight. So what?
Yeah.
You lose. But you get some experience. Well, when you get hit in the face a lot of times, you're going to get experience.
You got to learn to move that motherfucker.
Put them hands up.
Yeah, for sure. Bob and weave, man. Hey, so where do you think she gets all that talent from?
Well, growing up as a kid, bro, I mean, that's all we did was fight. We had MMA back in 1970. But we didn't get paid. So.
Just like Mexicans, doing stuff for free.
Man, they tell me, "Hey Ray, so-and-so wants to fight you at Queen City." Okay, we'll be there at 12 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, we go, everybody get around, we duke it out. Guess what? I'd always win.
Hey, y'all had weigh-ins and shit?
Yeah, we didn't have no weigh-ins. As long as you had 2 arms,
you good to go. Dang, man.
You were good to go.
Hey, so is that where you grew up? Queen City is where you grew up?
Oh, yeah. It's tough area.
Tough neighborhood.
But I had all my friends were all black people. My best friend, he was... we used to walk home to school, and he was athletic. I was athletic, but not as athletic as he was.
Yeah.
But we had to walk by this dog, a big ass German Shepherd that always wanted to bite us. Mm-hmm. And no, we could go around the other way and not have to deal with him. But we'd make ourselves go through there, and because he was faster than I was. Yeah. And so I was the one gonna get bit. So ain't no dog biting Ray's ass. So we walked by that dog every day from school, man. That dog would chase us. And we didn't get it was fun.
Hey, so y'all look like a Rocky and Apollo? y'all look like Rocky and Apollo running on the beach?
With the German Shepherd chasing your ass.
Gosh, dog, man.
Oh my Lord, this is some dumb shit.
Hey, so have you heard about that Takashi 6ix9ine? Have you been keeping up with any of that?
The who? The Gucci 6ix9ine. Oh hell yeah, I've heard the Gucci 6ix9ine.
No, Takashi 6ix9ine, man. Takashi 6ix9ine, he's a rapper, right? Famous rapper nowadays. He blew up maybe about 2 years ago, 2017. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, he got involved with this gang, right? And man, he didn't know none of these guys. Well, anyway, they brought him in, and they arrested him. Right now, he told on everybody. Like he told from the main guy to the bottom guy. I mean, who their mom was, where they lived. He wasn't holding nothing back, man. And that's pretty crazy, man. Ain't nothing like none of that shit happening back then, right?
Yeah, man. Back then, honestly, bro, you know, like we call them rats.
Yeah.
You know, it's always been called rat. They rat you out. They do whatever. But then you just don't know how you would react if you're in that position. So I can't really judge that.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, because you know, you think about it. You know, the guys, you know, giving you, they're going to go for a life sentence. And then they say, okay, but if you tell, you know, you cooperate, we'll give you like half that sentence.
Yeah, but not only that though, they had like kidnapped him too. They were, you know, sleeping with his wife or his girlfriend. You know,
I mean, there's a lot of scenarios
taking money. They were taking money from him, and so, I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm kind of on the fence too, but you know, this is a problem that I see in America a lot of times, where like kids nowadays they stay inside so much that they only have kind of a portion of what reality is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like myself, I have a brother, right, younger brother, who most of the time his whole life he's been inside on games or whatever, but now he's starting to sag his pants and, you know, act crazy, right? But he doesn't realize that he doesn't know nothing about really how it's supposed to happen. He only sees that shit on TV. But I'm happy that he can kind of see what this guy's going through to let him know, like, this ain't the route you want to be, you know. This ain't who you don't want to be, you know, telling on people, having people call you a rat. They threaten his mom, his kids, and shit like that. And, you know, and so that's kind of, but I'm on the fence like that too, you know. I'm kind of like, man, if they would have done that stuff to me, I don't know what would have done. If I was facing 50 years in prison, shit.
Man, you changed your whole attitude.
Your whole attitude changes, right?
And you know, growing up the way I did, you know, we never had gangs back then in the 70s, you know.
Yeah.
The only gangs I had was all my 11 brothers and sisters. So if you want to call it a gang, yeah, okay.
It's a lot of
Mexicans in one house. But no, what I'm saying is like this, you know, like take for instance, was that 69 guy?
Yeah, Takashi 69.
Yeah, I don't know rap that music. All I do is country western. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
when you talk rapper, I understand. I like him.
He's colorful too.
Yeah, I like that one with that horse guy, that new one.
Oh, Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas X.
That's a good, actually pretty nice song.
Oh, I like it, man. Hey, shoot. That's what. Called? It's called Old Town Road.
Yeah, Old Town Road.
But you know, it beat the Beatles. It beat the Beatles for like number one on being number one on the Billboard. The Beatles.
Yeah, my daughter showed it to me, and I was like, man, I like that song. So I've been listening to it, and you know.
Hey, what do you think about when someone says the Beatles suck?
The Beatles are badass, and I don't care.
Hey, in my opinion, listen, when you sell over millions and millions of albums, and you died 30 years ago, and you still selling, you gotta be.
The Beatles were good. But let me tell you, Elvis Presley was the dog. He's the king of rock and roll, bro. Elvis was bad to the bone. Elvis could do rock and roll, sing the blues, gospel, Christmas songs. It didn't make it. And then he act on top of that. And of course, he
did all that.
Elvis was bad, bro. I mean, like him and I have a lot in common. He's got black hair. I got black hair. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty as hell. I'm pretty as hell.
Hey, wait, but he wasn't as shredded as my boy PBR.
Dude,
right?
No, he was pretty tight, bro. I have to give him number one because he, you know.
He was a pussy getter.
Oh, he was, bro. I mean, damn, the women he kissed and sang and hugged. And man, have
you ever seen those old videos where he would just play the guitar and they'll pass out?
Dude, yeah. Like, I did that. I did karaoke for a while.
Yeah.
And they were passing out when I was singing. They were throwing bras and shit at me.
Big old things, right? Big bras knocking you off balance.
Yeah, I told him once, hold your bra, honey. I damn bra wrapped around my whole head. I couldn't even see.
It was like one of those Asian where they throw it at your feet. They throw it at your feet to wrap it up. You got those two balls.
No, that second man wrapped around my head, dude. I was trying to breathe. The whole cup covered my head. And I was like, hold that one, please.
Yeah, man, let me tell you, one time there was a karaoke night, right? And this one guy went up there and everybody was dancing and shit. And let me tell you how how you know you probably shouldn't do karaoke again. That when I went up there and I thought I picked a good song, you know, I picked it was Blake Shelton's one of Blake Shelton's songs, real popular that night, and I started singing, man, and slowly but surely I started seeing everybody just walk on the dance floor.
Started on the restroom.
Intermission. Yeah, man.
I did a lot of karaoke singing in Houston. At those Houston bars, you know, they have karaoke nights and stuff.
Well, you got to bring it over there.
Oh, yeah, you got to bring the heat. I mean, and then as soon as I walked in, I had these real tight pants. Then I'd take my junk and I'd just kind of leave it on one side and let everybody know that I was packing some heat. So, then I put on a real tight hat and stuff. You know, nice cowboy hat. And
everything tight, though. Nothing loose, right?
Nothing's loose on Ray.
Yeah.
And so, them girls that love Ray, Pretty Boy, they just, I mean, I only knew one song, honestly.
Which one?
It was Rancho Grande. But, you know, have you ever heard it?
No.
You ain't never heard Rancho Grande?
No.
Oh, come on, bro. You got
Who sings that?
Some Mexican in Mexico. I'm just kidding.
Hey, so where'd you get the name PBR? Who started calling you that? PBR, Pretty Boy Ray.
Well, actually, Rodney Reed.
All right, man. So you're saying PBR. How you get that name PBR?
Well, I was actually team roping. You know, I'd go out to team roping. I had horses and I had a team roping roping arena, and all that stuff. And I'd always say, "Pretty Boy's here, Pretty Boy Ray." And then Rodney Reed came out the office and said, "Hey, PBR," and I was like, "Dang, I like that." But at first, I didn't know. I was like, "PBR." That's like I thought like
Professional Bull Rider
Association. And I was like, PBR, my name's Ray, fool. And then he says, "Get it, PBR?" And I was like, "Ding, yeah, Pretty Boy Ray." Yeah,
it hit you, huh?
Yeah, and so I was like, "Yeah, I like that, Rodney. Thank you."
Hey,
so
man,
it's stuck ever since.
Man, so you done a lot of stuff in your life. I mean, from MMA in the 70s to roping. What got you into roping?
Dude, I did more. I had motorcycles. I had the weight lift. I've been lifting, trying to stay in condition practically all my life.
And guys, I know you can't see this, but Ray is like. Yeah. I mean, they
could have been another old, though. You know.
Yeah, but they could. You basically looking at Arnold Schwarzenegger in his 30s.
Well, no, in my 30s, I was more than Arnold. I was pretty as hell.
And you spoke good English.
Yeah, but I've always had a motivational type of spirit. I've always wanted people to do good in life. Now, I never want people to do bad. So, even in my course of life, you know, maybe I'd kick your ass. And maybe you'd be my friend. After that, we'd go on, you know? Back then, that's how it was. So even after I whooped your ass, I would take your ass to church with me, you know?
That's
just the way I was.
The problem was solved. And there wasn't no holding grudges.
You know, and then that guy whooped my ass, which, I mean, I'm sorry to say, I got my ass whipped one time with my brother. And I've had probably 300 fights in my life, bro.
No? Hey, what's the most memorable one you could walk us through? Without giving out any names or nothing, what's the most memorable one? Give us one that was easy and then one that challenged you.
Well, the easiest one is that we're at this club called Little Joe's Billiards at that time. And they brought in some guy in there that was from Babel that wanted to fight the best guy, whatever. So he was talking a lot. So anyways, I ended up fighting him. And then this older man that was there, he goes, "Ray," he goes, "Man, you knocked that dude out when he was going down. You woke his ass up with a right. Knocked him out with a left and woke him up with a right." Dude, I was quick with my hand. I always had quick hands, quick feet, you know?
Yeah, you was a bad man with your hammer.
I mean, you know, it was like that fast, boom, boom. And then there was I think the toughest one that I had to get real tough was a guy that just got out of prison, and he was a big Mexican dude. I mean, this guy had some like big arms and stuff. And back in the 70s, I was just thin, but real fast, you know. Mm-hmm. And so I seen him. I used to work with him, and I seen this guy. And anyways, he came up to me, "Ray," and he started just punching me in the chest. And I was like, "Dude, that's be cool, bro. I mean, just shake my hand. You gotta beat on me." Yeah. And I've always had a kind of not a fear of him, but I knew that he could probably kill me because he was like
He
10
was
times
just a big
bigger
dude.
than I was.
Yeah.
And so I told him, hey, man, can you just do me a favor, bro? I'm glad you're out and everything, man. But just shake my hand, bro. I mean, that hurts.
Yeah.
And then, so anyway, we laughed, and then we kept, about a week and a half later, I seen him at a club, but I didn't notice he was in there. I turned around, he was right there, dude. He started punching me in my chest again, bro. And then I told him, I said, look, bro, I done asked you, man, stop hitting me in my chest. It's getting old. I said, just shake my hand and we're good. You know how Mexicans, we have a hard time with CHSH. So if I say shake, you know what I'm talking about, right?
That's CH.
So by the third time, bro, that was it. I said, I'll either go, he's going to kill me or I'm going to put it in his ass. And so, dude, he came, he walked up to me. I said, hey, what's up? And when he said that, he punched me like 4 times, boom, boom, in my chest. And I said, you drunk? He said, no. Eddie, I hit him with every power I had, bro. I dropped him like a sack of potatoes. I mean, I hit him with everything under his chin, and I curled him up like that. Booyah! And that dude, he was like a tree. He went, booyah!
No shit.
Hit the ground. And then I had him by his shirt, like this other guy came over there and said, hey, Ray, he's done. He's done. So then I was still like fired up. And then so they said, hey, they drug him outside the club. And then he woke up out there, and then they came and got me and said, hey, he's waiting for you. So I went over there, took my shirt off. I was ready because I knew I could take him with my feet because I had the fastest feet around. I could kick, well, and not just in your kneecap either.
You weren't kicking him low like Sylvester.
Oh yeah, so
like Steven Seagal. You
no,
were bringing him high.
Like,
like
I could
Chuck
kick
Norris.
you, bro.
Yeah.
And so I knew, and so I came when I got ready. I said, "Come on," and he just looked at me, bro, and he's like, "Forget it." He left. And I was like, "Thank you, Lord." I think that's when I started getting closer to God. You know.
No joke. And what? I mean, you know, where do you think you don't get the fear from? Like, where you know, you really, you know, I know we've been knowing each other for a long time. You know, I call you a good friend.
Yeah.
You always said that, you know, you really don't have no fear, really. You know, where do you think that comes from?
I think it comes from my dad beating the crap out of us when we grew up. You know, and then you have all these older brothers you have to fight all the time. You know, because you know you got to remember there's 8 boys, 3 girls.
Yeah,
we're living in one small house. There's a lot of frustration. So as growing up, man, my dad taught us, this is how you box, this is how you fight. And my dad used to take me, I'd box and stuff, did all kinds of stuff when I was growing up. I mean, you know, but my dad had a real strong hand as we were growing up, trust me.
Yeah.
But
so,
I had some tough brothers, man.
Really?
Yeah, like my oldest brother was like super tough. And I have 3 older brothers, and then the rest are younger. Yeah. But they all grew up, you know, we all taught each other, you know.
Yeah, and was there ever a time where, I mean, back then, were y'all always together? Like, if one brother got into a fight, I mean, y'all had to get in, right? There was no...
That's why they said it. They said, you can fight anybody out here, but just don't fight another. Come on. Why not? Shit, fight one, there's about 10 more coming at you. You know, but me and my older brother that was a year and a half older than I, we hung out together because we went to school together and all that. I seen him kick a lot of people's ass, and he's seen me fight a lot too, you know. So, but
it had to be pretty good, right? To at least have some backup.
Oh yeah,
because there's a lot of people that are by themselves, man. Where you know you're just gonna have to, you got to face it alone.
I was never one to like go over there and start a fight. Never one. I think I probably started one fight in my life that I shouldn't have started, but I did anyways. But like I was one that like if you sang, well yeah, we're gonna fight. Yeah.
Saying meaning like just talk a lot of shit?
Yeah, you're gonna talk shit, but I had a rule that you could talk shit all you want from a distance, but you got into this range that I set, had a parameter that I set, that you were gonna get hit.
Yeah.
As simple as that. Because I'm not gonna let nobody come to me.
Yeah,
I've seen knives back then. I carried a blade also. I mean, I didn't have a gun or anything. Back then, people didn't just fought with bare hands. But you go into club, like back in the old days, you go into a club, people had knives. Now people got guns.
Yeah.
So it's a different era. Like when I grew up, you know, if you didn't have a knife, you were basically handicapped. So now he has the advantage over you because he has a knife. Yeah. So you had to carry a knife. So you know, you'd go buy a good knife and you'd put it in your back pocket. And so that was it. I mean, you'd always fight. If it was a fair fight, boom, boom, yeah. And I remember coming out of a club one day, and one of my best friends was across the street getting jumped by 3 or 4 guys.
Holy shit.
And so, I mean, he was doing all he could to fight. When I looked, I just took off, bro. Just run with everything to get to him. He was probably maybe 50 yards away. And, dude, the first guy got it right there in the head, bro. Just booyah! And boom, 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 boom. Dude.
The feet got the flying.
And so, man, I finally kicked this one guy just completely cold out right in the face. Boom. And then my buddy that I was helping, well, he came over, got close to me, he goes, come on, Ray, let's leave. Well, when he touched me, I had another buddy that was running towards us. This happened quick.
Oh, no, yeah.
He pulled off his belt and had one of them big belt buckles, them Texas belt buckles, them solid ones.
Yes.
And he had it wrapped and he was coming. When my buddy was getting ready, all you heard was a bing! My buddy dropped to the ground, and he just like took a knee, bro. Like he didn't knock him out, but he, bro,
it's stunned his
head. To this day, he still has a star printed on top of his head. And I told my buddy, "Hey, dude, he's on our side. why you hitting this guy? He's my friend. I'm fighting for him." Boom. He goes, "Well, I don't care. Nobody's gonna be close to you." I said, "You're all gone." That's my friend. Why you gotta hit him like that?
He said, they're all gone.
They're all gone, bro. He's just touching me. Oh, man, to this day, I see this guy and I always tell him, you still got that star yet, bro? that dude hit him so hard, bro. I swear it sounded like a little bell ring. Bing. Woo, that shit had to hurt.
Hey, it brought him to his knees, though.
Oh, it brought him to his knees, bro.
Hey, so the 70s was a fun time. Huh?
Oh, yeah, we had, man, I tell you what, dude. Those were the best times of my life. From 1970 to 1979 were the best years of my life.
No joke.
Oh, yeah.
And what was going on around that time?
Well, yeah, you had disco. You know, that was the shit. You know, John Travolta.
Oh yeah.
You know, the disco scene was the it thing. I mean, you'd see people dancing in clubs, and I mean, they were
all partying, just free spirit, huh?
Yeah, and there was a lot of drugs, but I didn't get too much of the drug scene, you know, because I didn't like smoking marijuana. It made me too crazy.
Yeah.
But I tried it, you know, but the scene back then was all cocaine and all that bullshit
all
back
the
in the days,
stuff,
bro.
yeah.
You know,
Dang.
people were everywhere. If you didn't look like you were a gangster. I mean, not a gangster, but like a disco, because everybody, you wore like leather jackets with your shirt tails, or they made the collars of your shirt roll. I don't know if you noticed Jorge that
Masvidal.
Yeah. How he was dressed.
Yeah. Oh, okay, like that.
That's how everybody dressed back then.
No joke.
Yeah.
They all look like Scarface.
Oh, everybody was Scarface. Everybody was John Travolta. Everybody dressed in that, and it was fun, bro. Like women back then were women.
Yeah. What do you think about this? What do you think all about this PC? This PC age that we're in. This
to me, it's just junk, bro.
It's a
look. I've always said this, Eddie. Look, political correctness stagnates people's life. If you always think about being correct, sometimes you gotta just take life at face value. You can't always do the right thing. You can always try to do the right thing, but you're not gonna always do the right thing. I mean, you're gonna try.
You're gonna try, yeah.
But if you're gonna always put me to a politically correct status, well, guess what? That I already failed.
Yeah.
Because you can't, bro. I can't not use the N word when I'm playing with some of the black guys I grew up when they're using hey Mexican backstroke.
Yeah.
You know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's.
Yeah, so
it's all a time and a place. You know?
It's a time and a place for everything. Now I'm not going to go to church and act like a moron.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to a restaurant and throw food all over like a food fight. No, man, you just got to live life free, bro. Free like this. If you always be kind to people, always. Even sometimes people don't want kindness; they want hatred.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how some people just want hatred?
Well, I notice how, as humans, you know, we're more attracted to violence, destruction.
Yeah.
You know, you'll get more views on a fight online than you would probably
a sermon.
A sermon, yeah. So I can't tell how, as humans, and we are more attracted to violence, naturally.
Yeah.
And that's I wonder how we could change that. You think we can?
I think you talk about politically correct people. People have lost, I think, their way in a sense. See, the thing about life is that you always remember that there's someone greater than you watching you. Mm. So, okay, let me give you a scenario. God is watching me every day. He watches you every day. He watches everybody in the world every day. And though some things might not change for you, but no, you always got to have a sense of being God conscious. In other words, you got to understand, though, even though just take for instance, say my financial stability is never getting any better, right? Mm. But I believe in God because I know He's watching me. Just because my financial area isn't better doesn't make God any lesser of a God. So if you have a God conscience, you'll always do the right thing, and things will happen for you. It might take 2 years, might take a year, might take 2 days. This depends. But if you have that conscience about being that God's watching you, then you'll always do the right thing.
Yeah.
Always.
I believe that. Explain to people why you read the Bible. What, 7 times, 6 times?
6 times in 1 year.
6 times in 1 year. Explain to people why you did that.
Well, the reason I did it is because when I began on Genesis, when it says in the beginning, God, that's Yahweh or Elohim. So these are names that we know of God's name. Like He's known as Adonai. That's my favorite because that's the God name that the Jews, the Hebrews would not use if you were like a sinner, mm-hmm. and you were caught using the name of Adonai. They would actually put you to death. They would actually destroy your body and kill you, stone you, because right. You would have to. Only the priests would use the name Adonai. And if you look at the movie The Passion of the Christ, mm-hmm. he's praying in the garden. And he's saying Adonai.
Jesus is.
Oh
wow.
He's talking to God. Adonai. Yeah. And so when I read in the beginning God. Man, that word God became so big for me. Mm-hmm. So I began to read and read, and I could never stop.
Wow. And it took over, huh?
Yeah, and I'm talking about, and then when I couldn't read, I have this little app that I would use. I would listen to it, but I like reading it more because reading gives you more comprehension. You know what I'm saying? Because you know where you're at, but also hearing the word does help too. So I would. Because I've been reading the Bible since 1985, but back in 2013 I decided to read it as much as I could. So I started going boom, 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 boom. And I went one time and started back in Genesis all the way to Revelation, back and forth. And so even with like people talk about God, I know where you're at. I know what who's did what, who didn't do what. Nothing that somebody can talk about a God that I didn't read about. You know what I'm saying? So reading it is one thing, but understanding it is another. So I could not understand until I asked Christ into my life. And then that decided, when you ask Him into your life, that makes a big difference. A big difference, because He opens the eyes of your understanding. Your eyes are open. Not your eyes that you see, the inner man of you opens, and then your understanding, your brain, your heart, and all that, it's all connected to one big person. And so then your eyes are enlightened, and then you're able to understand what God is saying.
For sure.
Yeah. So people go, Revelation is the most scary book there in the Bible, hardest to read.
Yeah, I hear that often.
Yeah, it's the easiest Bible because it says, "Blessed is he who readeth and understandeth."
Mm. And so you gotta read. If you're reading it and understanding it, you shouldn't be scared.
That's right. Yeah. So the first thing when you go into the Revelation is that if you went in there as a scientist or something like that didn't believe in God, it could be kind of scary because it's confusing.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, it was written by a first century man seeing 21st century things that were happening on the earth. So God told him, what you see, you write. He didn't say, I'm going to tell you what it is.
Oh,
So he says, what you see, you write. So when he talks about locusts coming, and they had the sting, the power was in the tail, and they had the face of a man.
Oh, we were talking about this the other day.
Well, think about that. I mean,
helicopters, right?
Yeah. What does Apache copter sound like? Like a
locust, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a locust almost, yeah. Got some missiles and stuff.
Yeah. And so you got to remember that God is not going to destroy the world again with water. So the only way he destroys it, like he says, in the end, there's going to be fire. So what is fire? Nuclear power, nuclear warheads, Apache helicopters, jets, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and it's kind of crazy because that's kind of where everything's
leading,
leading, right?
Yeah.
Everything's technology. Everybody wants a nuclear bomb. Yeah. Everybody wants this and that. And
well, just think about that Musk, that guy that's going to
Elon Musk.
Yeah, that's going to send people to Mars.
Right?
I think they're going way too far. I don't even think they'll make it halfway there.
Really?
I think God will strike it down. That's my personal opinion, and I'll tell you why. Because you remember the Tower of Babel in the Book of Genesis, where they were building a tower so high that they were going to make it into the heavens.
Oh, really? I haven't heard this story.
Yeah, so God came down and said, "Hey, unless we stop these people, they're going to reach way up here. Unless we put a stop to them, there's nothing that's going to stop these people, because they were one accord. They were all together, one hand. That's what happens when you get a unified faith, bro. When you have one person and about 10 billion following you to do one job, you're going to get it done. So God saw that.
Board,
so he came down, and that's what the Bible says is where God confused everyone. And he changed their languages. That's where all the language come from. Chinese and then, Africa and Mexico and all this.
Oh, dang, really?
So they couldn't communicate with each other. One would say, "Es culero." "Es culero?" No. "Eres motorway?" "No." "What you say? It's too hot today." and that old African, and then the Germans, and then the Parlez-vous Français, all them fools that language all came to birth because God opened it, and changed and confused. The Bible said he brought division, not like we bring the evil. He just divided their races by languages.
Yeah.
The north, the south, the east, the west. He started separating them and giving them different languages, and then they couldn't build the Tower of Babel, and it fell.
Wow.
That's why they call it the Tower of Babel, because they all were babbling. They say they were all babbling, and they couldn't understand
each other. They couldn't work it. Wow.
They didn't understand what God, But the thing about when you try to leave this earth to go live somewhere else, what is that saying to you?
What is bad here?
Well, no, it's saying that you're God. You can go anywhere you want.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, that doesn't make no sense, because God made the earth, and He formed. The Bible said it was void. It had nothing, but the Spirit of the Lord hovered above the face of the earth. And God began to say, "Let there be light," and let the waters expand from the heavens. And He began to create all this stuff in 6 days. He created everything in 6 days. He even created man on the sixth day. He created man out of the dirt of the ground. And then the Bible said as He formed him, He breathed the breath of life into him. And then the Bible also declares that on the seventh day, the Lord rested. The mighty Lord rested on the seventh day. Well, on the 8th day, He created Pretty Boy Ray. He okay.
Man.
I've been around a long time, bro. He
had a lot of work to do.
I've been tired of seeing him.
Man. Hey, so you're a gun enthusiast, man. What got you into guns?
Well, I'll tell you what got me into guns was when they started the 2016. I had one gun. I had a 22 that I used out of my ranch to shoot gophers and snakes and whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, when they started talking about, when Obama was in office and he was talking about, taking guns away, I was like, man, this ain't good. Mm-hmm. So I started calling buddies of mine that I knew. Hey man, well, I want to buy a nice gun. We'll get you an AR-15. So where's the AR-15? And so they showed me pictures. Oh man, it's a nice gun. So I ended up buying a lot of them, and then I went to him, hey bro, what's a good pistol, man? They can't beat a 1911, but there is a lot of guns, but a 1911 is probably one of the best guns. I got a 1911 45, 1911 40, a 1911 380, and I'm just buying the 1911 9 millimeter. And then I got some 40 cals, other 40 cal Smith & Wesson Shield. I got a Smith & I got another 40. I got a LC9 9 millimeter, and I've got how many ARs? I got a DPMS. I got a Smith & Wesson, and they got high powered Vortex scopes, and I changed up all the butts. I remodified them, and I mean I just have a love for them, and I use pancake holsters, because we're open carry. I can walk around with my gun all day long if I wanted to, but to me, it's too much of a hassle. Because I mean, you see me, you didn't know me. I'm at a gas station with a gun in my holster. You'll probably call the cops because that's how politically correct they are. I'm pumping gas. I ain't shooting nobody. They call the cops, and then they got to come out. Hey, you got a gun? Well, yeah, I got. So what I do is I use a pancake holster, and it conceals everything. I don't see nobody bothers me. I don't bother nobody. I don't feel because they're all uncomfortable.
Yeah. They're all threatened, man.
To this day, Eddie, you have to realize that color, and they say, well, color does have an effect, but it depends on how you act.
Yeah.
Like they see a Mexican, but if I'm acting like a decent human being, guess what? They just bypass you. Then they're gonna mess with you. But if you're over here slanging and cussing and trying to intimidate somebody, of course somebody's going. You could be black, you could be brown, you could be white. People will recognize that because everybody walking around scared as it is,
Yeah.
And they're afraid. So
everybody's scared.
I bought them guns because I felt like at that time it was going to get bad with Obama, the way he was talking about guns and all that stuff, and I felt like it was going to go a really bad direction. Well, then we get Donald Trump in, and then we have these mass shootings, and then they go on to shoot like a school, but instead of punishing the criminals, what do? The Democrats.
They want to come to
They want to come and punish the law-abiding citizen. To me, it makes no sense. So we have a First, Second Amendment right. It says that we have the right to bear arms, and the government should not infringe on our Second Amendment. Mm-hmm. Like we have a right. They have no right to tell us what gun to buy, how many we could have.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's
a right.
Amendment. That's a right that we have as an American citizen.
So how do you feel about Beto saying that Texans are willing to give up their guns to him?
Texans ain't giving up shit. Tell you right now. Hey man, let me tell you, Tyler, Texas can probably round up I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of people, and these Cowboys, they don't play, bro.
Yeah.
They got heat. You know what I'm saying? They can. Texas alone can actually defend itself as a nation. That's how many people they got that. How many places that we have like Lang, with the one in San Antonio. What's it called?
Alamo.
Not the Alamo.
Lackland Air Force Base.
Yeah. So
Fort Hood. We have the biggest.
They say that we actually could stay.
Succeed, right?
We could actually fight for a good 6 months until we would need aid.
Damn. Yeah. That's pretty fucking good.
That's pretty good, man.
And with HEB on our side, shit, we ain't gonna go hungry.
No. HEB a bad. Hey, see, Mexicans say HEBs. But it's HE and the nigga, that's it. Where you going? Pues I'm going to HEBs.
HEB?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two of them in there?
Yeah.
And why you think that is, man?
Dude, I don't know, man. I was telling this, I seen this video about this guy who was calling him a guy was weed eating. He was weed eating around, like a little wetback. And the guy kept hollering at me, hey, eres joto way. And that dude's like, what? Eres joto way. And that dude's like, he dropped his name. He says, what'd you say? He said, it's hot today. So, dude, when I seen that video, I couldn't stop laughing. I thought it was hilarious as hell.
Dang, man. So, hey, you're coming back from Montana, Colorado. How was that trip up there?
Oh, my God. The drive was like crazy, but it's 80 miles an hour. But something about New Mexico, bro. They under 60. That whole damn state.
They don't want you to go.
Oh, no.
The emissions, man.
Dude,
the emissions.
What the hell? They ain't nothing but fucking dirt out here. They ain't shit. Like one mountain, no trees. It kind of looks like you go into Carrizo Springs or... It's just... Dude, it's a nasty little place. I wouldn't want to live there, bro.
That's where the aliens go.
Oh, yeah, a lot of Mexicans in El Paso, New Mexico, all that. You go to a store, they're talking to you in Spanish.
No joke.
In El Paso, yeah.
So, how many days y'all spend in Montana?
We were there for 5 days.
Oh, dang. Yeah. That's a nice little trip.
No, we were there 1 day, and then the rest we were in Colorado, yeah.
And Colorado's always nice. I've never been there. What's it like up there?
It's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, let me tell you how pretty it is. We wanted to go up this mountain, but they were charging $40 $30 a person to take you in this truck up there. So I stopped that guy because me and my wife, we were going to try to walk it,
Mm.
And I said, hey, you're taking tours up there? Yeah, it's $30 a person. But it's already late. Because it's about 3 o'clock. We were going to try to make it up there. And then my wife said, well, we'll give us a car and we'll set it an appointment to go up to the top. So then we noticed these cars coming down, like just regular cars. And I told my wife, Laurie, I think we can just drive up there. So the next day, we have that fancy ass car. It does everything. You're driving and there's a car in front of you, it'll slow it down. And if you're going to the right too much, it starts ringing the bell, and then you go back to the end. You don't have to flash lights or nothing. It turns the lights on, headlights, low beams, high beams, whatever. Yeah. If you're going down a steep hill, this button on there, you don't even have to apply the brakes. It does it all by itself. You don't know brakes, you ain't got to put no brake. It brakes by itself, it stops by itself, all that stuff. And then when you're climbing, it puts all the wheels into drive. It's a 4-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
So we took it all the way up there. We didn't have to pay that $30. It was beautiful, bro. Like breathtaking. Like
no joke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go make that trip, man. I just don't know what to do in Colorado.
Oh, bro.
I would get there. What's the best place? Aspen, Denver.
We went to a place called Telluride, and that's where Chrissy Brinkley had her wreck. I don't know how many years ago up in Telluride, Colorado. Her helicopter got hit with a gust of wind. They fell down. She ended up breaking her leg or something.
She was famous, right?
Yeah, and dude, let me Telluride's expensive though, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was gonna buy this jacket, and I wanted it, and when I flipped that sign $5.95. I was like, shit, I gotta get it at Kohl's for 27.
No shit. Yeah. What's this jacket do, man? Shit.
It was made out of some fancy buffalo or something.
Man.
So I was in that shop. Everywhere we went, like you wanted to buy clothes, they were like 10 times what you'd pay in Victoria.
Mm.
So we really didn't need nothing. We have everything we need, so we just ate at all the fancy places. They were good to eat, man. They had good food. We went up in this gondola that takes you all the way up in the mountains. Mm-hmm. It's like a little cage kind of little deal, like a ski lift.
Oh, I see.
But it takes you all the way up, and it took us to this one town way up there. And we were walking around this marketplace, and they had these tables outside with these fires right in the center, with glass around the fire, and you could sit there and have your meal and look at the mountains.
Oh, damn.
Then it was the coolest thing. And so I ended up ordering 2 ribeye bison steaks, Eddie. Man, that was the best meat I've had, bro. That's some good meat, man.
That bison steak?
Yeah, no fat, no nothing, bro. Just solid meat. and they cooked it like a medium rare, and dude, it was, oh my God, bro, we were in heaven. But that was the best steak I've had after the one. I've had one in Florida like that. That was really good.
Really, no joke.
Yeah.
Man, last weekend I went to Austin, and I went to my first ever nude beach, man.
No shit.
Hey, totally nude, totally out there.
They won't let me in those things. My arrow points to They told me, you got to get out. You can walk around here, but not with a big old arrow like that. I was like, dude, I'm sorry, but hey, my testosterone level, you know what it was?
Oh, you were telling me about that. Go ahead.
1563. And I don't take no injections.
No?
I give injections. Dude, I kid you not, dude, it was like incredible. That doctor said, you take the steroids? I said, no, man, you taking no steroids? I said, man, dude, you got to. And so he told me I had to like have sex 25 times a day.
Damn.
Dude, you talking about wore out, bro. I couldn't go to no beach.
Hey, so they ever figured out why your testosterone is that high?
Well, they're figuring out like you were just like I don't want to sound like I'm arrogant or anything like that, but I'll just go and tell you the way the doctor told me. They're saying that you know how you have 23 chromosomes from your mother, 23 from your father.
Yes.
Well, they studied because they're doing that study. That's how I got into that program, because they said no man should walk around with 1,563
testosterone level. Yeah.
Because you only range from 300 to 700.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they found out I have 78 chromosomes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So you have 30 more than
the normal person. Yeah. So they're trying to think that maybe I'm not really from this earth. Remember I was telling you about that?
Yeah.
I was created on the 8th day.
That's right. Well, okay.
It
started to make sense.
Yeah, it started to make sense. So anyway, they're thinking that I'm somewhere from like Pluto or what are the planets out there? That's what that scientist is telling me. I'm just I kept looking under the table. I thought he was smoking something. I'm seriously. He's like, man, Ray, we're thinking you're not even from this earth. And
damn.
And I told him, I said, where you think I'm from, Doc? He said, make some other planet out there.
We ain't even figured it out
He
yet.
said, is your wife from that planet? Is she an alien from that planet? I said, no, she's from Mexico.
I was like, oh no, it's the water.
Yeah, she alien, she's from Mexico.
Hey, you ever seen, that's like that movie Hitchcock. You ever seen Hitchcock?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's a badass movie, right? Hey, who's your favorite actor?
I like, I've always liked Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall, okay.
Yeah, and my favorite actor was probably John Wayne.
John Wayne?
Yeah, but Robert Duvall, John Wayne, Dean Martin, even Elvis made a good cowboy. I used to like cowboy movies.
Oh, cowboy movies?
Yeah.
Well, Robert Duvall, he came out in, John Q? And what else old movie? He came out in Godfather.
Yeah, he came out. He was in Lonesome Dove and with Kevin Costner when they were.
That's right. He got hit with that. He got hit with the horseshoe, right?
Yeah.
He got.
No, but let me tell you, Denzel Washington is tough too, bro. You can't beat Denzel. Denzel makes some really good movies.
Man, I went to go see. I told you about Rambo, right? I went to go see Rambo yesterday. And Sylvester Stallone, man, he still got it, but it was kind of far-fetched a little bit, you know, the kind of stuff he was doing, but...
Yeah, well, he's 4? 73?
Hey, man, he's moving, he's still moving pretty good, man. I don't know when he's going to slow down.
Yeah.
He's taking he takes all the steroids.
He takes growth hormones.
Oh, growth hormones? Yeah. Yeah, they show flashbacks of when he was younger, like the first Rambos and shit. He was a stud, man.
Oh, yeah, he was...
You know he was in porno, right?
No.
No, this is the truth. He was in a porno, and that's how he got his name, the Italian Stallion.
No kidding.
Because that's the name of the porno, the Italian Stallion.
No kidding.
His first thing, yeah.
Damn. I don't know what I'd be called if I was Elephant Man. or Weenie Dog.
Hey, man. So I just want to get your opinions, because we both have different views about Donald Trump, you know. But I like it because we can all we don't argue.
Nah,
you know, we're not like these guys that argue and want to tear each other's heads off and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we're still friends. We don't let it interfere and stuff. But there have been topics that you brought up that I have to agree with you with. You know, even though I'm not a full-fledged Trump supporter.
Yeah.
You do bring up some great topics about what he's done, man. Won't you take this time right here, you know, just
close it out with this?
Yeah, just close it out on why people that ain't gave Donald Trump a chance, that won't even listen, why some of the good things he's doing for us and why, you know?
Well, it's funny how you say that because if a guy was standing in front of me with some funky looking hair like Donald Trump's, and talk like Donald Trump, I'd probably walk away too.
Yeah.
You know, because the first impression is everything. But people look at Donald Trump because of his hair, you know, and they think he's a fool. Donald Trump ain't no fool, bro. You're not going to make billions of dollars in your life and be a fool. Or the guy's a genius.
Yeah.
Think about his campaign. He ran a campaign and got $2 billion worth of free media. From all, just by saying that when Mexico sends their people over, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending me. They're sending people that have a lot of problems. That have crimes. Some are rapists. Some are murderers. And I assume that there are some good people.
Yes.
Well, just saying that started off a storm that he used to. He just used it. He used it as a common sense man. You know, and so he had one rule. If I can keep that camera on, people can hear who I am. He started talking about cutting back, securing our borders, having tax cut, building our military. Why are we getting always the shaft? Why do we get always the shaft by these countries like China, Japan, Mexico, where we can't trade our goods to them, but they can trade it to us and not pay nothing. But if we send some of our products to them, they put a tariff on it. And because you and I are in the business of tariff, that means like you order a package from, say you got one from Canada or say China. Well, it would all make it to customs, and then customs, if we don't make that product here, and they're the only ones that make it, they would put a tariff on it, and then it would be another $30. That's when we collect, it says make check payable to the brokerage company.
The brokerage, yeah.
So because that's what they call a tariff. You're still getting your product, but guess what? Now you got to pay a tariff because we have a tariff on that product.
Yeah. So
in China, anything we send over there, we got to pay a tariff, like 10%, 25%, whatever it is. We can't send our cars over there because it would be way too expensive.
Yeah.
You know, China, you don't see too many Chevrolets and Fords and stuff over there.
No.
Yeah, and so when Donald Trump came into the scene, I saw it as a common sense man, bro. Like, come on. I mean, it don't take a fool to understand that if I was selling a taco right here and everybody's buying it and China wants it, but now that taco's $2. Now in China, I have to pay $8 tariff and then $2 to sell it. You wouldn't go over there to do it. Nobody would buy it.
No, yeah.
Who's going to buy a $10 taco?
You're negative already.
Yeah, you're negative.
Yeah.
So that's what Trump has been screaming all this time about being fair. Reciprocal, he calls it. Reciprocal trade. That means if you're going to put a tariff, let us put a tariff. That way we balance everybody out. Yeah. So everybody's balanced out. But they don't want that. They want U.S. constantly paying. I mean, when Ted Poe went into the Senate in 2000 and I think it was 15, with a map like this, like we're looking at almost, of all the countries that the United States gives aid to.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
And we're even giving Iran aid that screams death to America and all this stuff. Why are we, and this is what's happening, we're carrying the burden, the taxpayer.
Yeah. And
we're paying all these people to live happily ever after. Dubai is one of the most richest countries in the world.
Yes.
I mean,
Their police force all have Lamborghinis.
Oh yeah, the poorest person in Dubai probably is worth $10 million, bro. That's the poorest guy. They ain't poor people in Dubai.
When they had a UFC event over there not too long ago, they built a whole arena.
Yeah.
Just for this event. Yeah, that was.
They got billions and billions and trillions of dollars, dude. And the reason they hate Donald Trump, and a lot of people they go by personality. Oh man, he talks funny, he looks funny, but the idiots are on the other side. The Democrats, they want to give everything free to illegal immigrants, free health care, free college, free loans, all that stuff, but it ain't free. We got to pay for it.
Yeah.
So that's why I became a supporter, because I believe in common sense, bro. Like, you cannot tell me that Donald Trump is dumb. You can't tell me that he doesn't have the best interests for our country, because look at the economy that we have, the number one economy in the world right now.
Dang.
And so I trade heavily in the stock markets, right?
Yes.
And so I put a lot of money a year in the stock market. So in 8 years of Barack Obama's, all I did was stuff money into it. That's it. Didn't make nothing. Just with the time that Trump's been there, has put me over the level where that's where I needed to be.
Yeah.
And so I'm making money now.
Progress,
yeah, I see the money grows now. Why millionaires have money, because they know how to use it and make it grow and make it bigger and bigger. And nobody ever wants to sacrifice a little bit to try to get that. So with the economy I have to put more money into it, because at the end, I'm getting ready to retire. I'm able to retire and have some money in my pocket, So Donald Trump, to me, is probably the best thing that's ever happened to America. And the reason they're trying to stop him, because we don't know what goes behind closed doors. See, we give aid to those countries. Some of that money will circle back to those senators, congressmen, and all these people. That's why they hate him. They hate Trump.
Yeah.
Because that money does funnel back, bro. I'm sorry. If you're blind to think that it doesn't, man, I'm telling you, it does 100%. When those hurricanes hit down there, when have they come fix your house? But the government gave $8 billion. Who gets those $8 billion? You know who gets those $8 billion?
The congressmen.
The states and the congressmen, those senators, the freaking mayors, all that. The money is funneled through them, bro. They all get their fair share of that big ass chunk. Whatever's left, they'll actually give it away to FEMA, and they have FEMA give it away so they can say that, hey, we did give some away. But honestly, they're just putting it in their pocket.
Well, that's how, like, Nancy Pelosi, right?
Yeah.
How is she worth? How much?
$200 and something million. On 108, she's making $200 now. $200,000 a year, and she's been in politics for 40 years. So just on an average, if she made, say, just $200,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, $200,000 a year for 40 years. That only comes out to $8 million she had to live in 40 years. But she's worth $200 million. Where did she get that money? The money doesn't add up. That's why they hate Trump. They're trying to get him out of office because he's exposing who they are.
Right.
Because, see, Trump don't need no money. He gets his paycheck away every month.
The president paycheck.
Yeah,
right? Who's he give it to?
This last one, he gave it to the alcoholic and Nancy Pelosi said that she thought that was a slap to her face. Dude, she looked like she's half drunk as it is anyway. You already understand that woman.
Hey, so where's the impeachment process at right now? I know they try to get him in there and shit for.
Dude, they're going to try everything, but it's going to bite them in the rear end. Because see, for some reason I like YouTube, and I'll listen to a lot of the Christian, got people on there, and I had this guy. And he had a prophecy, and he explained it just before even Donald Trump got just started. Everything that was going to happen, everything that man said was going to happen, happened. That the media would come at him. They were going to spend $2 billion on, and to try to bring him down. They spent $2 billion with Hillary Clinton's campaign to try to knock him down. They said, but it would be to no avail because he would be the president for 2 terms.
So 2020 is his year?
He'll knock him out this year. And what worries me is I think that God is putting a time clock on us, trying to see what we look how they're doing this guy, man. This is the only president that's
ever done it to, yeah.
That they had been presidential harassment that long. I mean, like.
For even Barack Obama being the first black one, he didn't get.
Dude, he didn't do nothing for black people.
Harassment, yeah.
I mean, honestly, what did he do for black people? Look at Chicago, look at Detroit, all these.
Well, he had the highest unemployment rate, right?
Yeah, the highest unemployment. He had the highest people on food stamps. I mean, he never got over 1% GDP.
Oh, really?
GDP.
Nominate votes or
growth,
whatever.
Domestic product.
Oh, okay.
GDP. They determine for each, each point is $1 trillion. So it's 1 point. Our economy made $1 trillion. If it's 2 trillion, 2 points, we make $2 trillion in our economy. If it's 3 points, we make $3 trillion in our economy. It takes us 1 point something trillion dollars to operate the government.
Holy shit! Yeah.
So,
damn.
So you see what I'm saying? So we're $22 trillion in debt because we're giving out all this aid to everybody and helping everybody out. Everybody hates us, and so we're giving it. So we're in debt, 22 trillion. So eventually somebody's got to pay it off. So eventually our taxes go. I mean, just take my house taxes went up since I bought it 3 years ago. Every year it's going up. It's ridiculous. I live in an old neighborhood. It's a brand new house. I know that. It was built in an old neighborhood, a brand new house by the college. But it just keeps going up, bro. Going up.
And why? I mean, just all the taxes.
Yeah,
and shit,
just taxes.
Yeah. Dang, Ray. Well, brother, I want to say I appreciate your time. I'm glad you can come in and you sat in, man. And this is your host, Big Head Ed, and your boy, Pretty Boy Ray. We out.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.